So let's yeah, they don't want to make sure miss anybody. So nice to see you there, Sleepy, and again, Sloopflock, how you doing? Oh, by the way, you can see the references in the corner. Here's some AI references that I did real quick. Now, I think I might just go ahead, Sectorix. Uh, Actually, what I want to do, Sectorix, is I want to get the paid version of this because then I could conceivably. Now, look at these references here. I just had to use generic bust with headdress. What I'm hoping is if I have the paid version, I can take this picture, type in those same parameters, right? And then obviously get something like these, but have it be much more accurate to the thing I'm working on. I don't know if that's how it's going to work. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the magenta kind of side lighting. The overall light is going to be more of this blue, as you can see. Now, again, I didn't get the exact results of this, but I mean, it's good enough, right? So Sectorix basically, well, you know what we'd be doing. We'd be doing Chidu box stuff, right? We would be doing rendering the videos, processing images, all that kind of, all the stuff that we're doing here. Now again, I'm going to be streaming probably till somewhere between 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because my other sister is coming to grab me at 4:40 Friday morning because that's when we're going, because my other sister's having that surgery. And of course, it's always at stupid o'clock in the morning because when else would it be, right? Besides stupid o'clock in the morning. So yeah, we'll just be streaming right up until that point. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Now we got ourselves a Mixola here of the Payne's Gray from Williamsburg and the Prussian Blue, because we're going to do what you see over there in the reference pictures. Yeah, Sectorix, I'll shoot you a message, and this would not necessarily have to be a laptop, Sectorix, because it wouldn't necessarily have to be so mobile. So some of the what we say, some of the restrictions of past years, like when Kathy was sick and everything, that's not necessarily the case anymore. So it doesn't have to have quite the same mobility that it used to. Obviously, I also have a ton of the UPC backups. So you could say that circumstances are a little bit different now than they were back in the day. So Blades, again, I hope that you had a blast. Sorry that I had to kind of duck out there on the stream because, well, I was trying to get all this stuff packed, and then the messages started coming in. So, yes, messages galore. Again, it doesn't take much. It does not take much to get this going. And oh, the primer was just a black Steinerez mixed with some of this. Now I do have an order coming, not just a couple of replacements of these, but a big jar of this. A big jar coming of this. I was trying to take advantage of the paint sale. There is also, basically the Griffin version of this because we never tried it. Where the heck is? Here we go. So the Griffin version of this is also on its way. There's a couple of other things. Oh, chromatic black. Because everybody, how many times have people asked, hey, have you ever used chromatic black? Like 1,000 times. Well, I think I've got the Gambling chromatic black coming this way because, again, paint sale. So I thought, well, I did get a couple of replacements of things we use here all the time. But just I thought, you know what? Maybe this is when I should grab that chromatic black. We'll do a color theory and oils about it, right? Because we have 17 different Mars black colors to test next to it. So yeah, Sectorix, it doesn't necessarily, again, have to be something that's quite as mobile as previous years might have required. So that could be helpful. Now, I always kind of just assumed that, you know, a tower unit, a powerful one, was going to be more or less expensive than a equal equally powered laptop, just for reasons. I haven't really necessarily seen it, which is kind of weird. I would have thought, okay, tower units are just less because everybody wants laptops, right? Everybody wants laptops and tablets and all that kind of stuff. Where'd my other one go? All right, we'll grab this one here. So Blades, again, glad that I could join you for the stream anniversary. And again, everybody please give Blades 81 a follow if you could. That'd be super. And use you. There we go. Let's see. So Schloopflock is saying that perhaps, because Schloopflock, don't a lot of folks use, shall we say, dramatic? Actually, CA Sculpts, right? Schloopflock, they use some dramatic lighting on their renders. So Schloopflock, I will. Actually, well, while I'm at the hospital, obviously I could potentially be there 12, 14, 16 hours, something like that. So I might have time to, if somebody could just shoot me a reminder about that, look for tutorial videos on, going into the slicer and basically pre-lighting it, right, Schloopflock? So you can see how we're building this up real quick like now. Oh boy, you know what I should have gotten with the order? I should have gotten me some more of these because the ones that I have, well, they've been through a little bit of strife, as the Aussies say. Thanks, appreciate that, Blades. Now we got ourselves the Fast Matte Magenta. Here's our Fluoro Magenta, and now we're going to have at it here. We are going to have at it here and see what happens. But don't blink, because I have a feeling it's going to happen fast, right, Schloopflock? Don't blink. Whatever you do, don't blink. Now, more of this here. See what happens. Because remember, this stuff is every bit as absorbent, right? Because this is still the black matte PLA. Actually, Sectorix, well, not the black matte, but at least the black PLA became available again, and it was 99 bucks for 10. Again, no sales tax and no shipping. So it was basically just 99 bucks for 10 rolls. My rolls of the gray showed up. Now, sadly, that was 104 for the 10 rolls. But again, no taxes, no shipping. And when you live in Chicago and you have a 17 million% sales tax, actually, that was the lower end. They've raised it since then. So that's why it's a little bit important to have no sales tax on your item when you get it. And that's a very rare thing. Yeah, Sectorix, I've been stocking up for months and months and months because, well, let's just say I expected other events to happen in the Taiwan Straits. So I was kind of preparing for that eventuality. Any other eventualities just kind of piggyback onto that eventuality, if you see what I'm saying. So, what's the Boy Scout motto, right? Sectorix, be prepared. That's why, well, we've been preparing for this particular thing that's happening now. We've been preparing for at least the last 6 weeks now. So a lot of the plans are now being enacted. You know what? I'm gonna go a little further with that, and then a little further with this. See what happens here. I might have to get some of the paint off of the brush here. But okay, we've been doing this for 12 minutes. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. So blades, what we'll be talking about, right? What we'll be talking about setting up object source lighting. Big old filbert brush. We do stuff like this. Shazam, right? Right, blades? So Schlupflock, that's a fantastic thing. So Schlupflock, what I'll try and do is learn about I'll learn as much about that as I can, and I'll make a printing workshop video about it. Let's see. So Sectorix, when this next thing shows up, I'll have 20 rolls of the standard PLA. I'll have 21 rolls of the matte PLA. Sadly, it's some are beige. 5 of them are beige. The rest are the black. But since I'm mostly targeting smaller things now, that's I won't quite be going through stuff quite as fast. So yeah, this is FDM. Now again, the lines, they're only showing up now because we're doing all the dry brushy stuff. This also had tons of lines through it, and you can't see those because they are covered in paint. Now this is not the 0.2 nozzle, this is still just the 0.4 nozzle. So yeah, once we get past the dry brushing stage, basically all the layer lines will vanish. Now these are not layer lines here, this is actual texture, like a cloth texture or something like that, just throwing that out there. But yeah, as soon as we get into the non-dry brushy stuff, all of a sudden layer lines will disappear, they will just vanish. Yeah, Sectorix, it's so cool that well, and of course, again, the PLA is so absorbent. That's the other fantastic thing. You see, we're already starting to smooth away some of those. And again, it's already starting to get this kind of a look to it within a matter of 15 minutes. 15 minutes total. So yeah, this is also cloth texture right here. That is also some cloth texture. Now we did do one tutorial video on this already. That was done with the resin printer. Let me hit this. Come on, a little more of this magenta up here again. This is the fast matte. No, not the fast matte. This is the Griffin magenta. Geez, Sectorix. Well, I'm glad it's so popular. I'm glad it's popular enough to steal Sectorix. And again, thanks to everybody that has been getting stuff from the merch thing. Here is the link to that. I kind of made the official announcement today. Oh, by the way, I think I might have sent this in messages to people. So I found out why they put a hold on my order. It was not that I could not order from the store myself, which I wish I had known. It would have been nice if they had said something. But it was actually an individual person, and they said it's because of the complexity of the design, which is hilarious. But they had to decomplexify it, and they sent me a proof, and I had to approve the proof, and now they're going ahead and doing it. So it was not the fact that I couldn't order from my own store. It was that it was all about, again, they needed to, ironically enough, simplify the design. I had the colors of the thread right. Oh, thanks, Blades. And again, we did, this is another test. So these are some of the Moonlight minis here. And I already filmed this segment where we were taking the supports off of these, and it did a pretty darn good job. Just to give you a sense of size, this is 50 millimeters right here. So that's how big this thing is. I mean, you can tell it's 50 because this is the 50 millimeter base, right? And it basically fits right on it there. Now, I did actually use, Sectorix, one of the annoying things about, well, one of the 10 million annoying things about the bamboo slicer is that there's a big drop-down menu in front of this. I could barely see where I was slicing it. And there was nothing I could do to get rid of that stupid drop-down menu. So yeah, that was extra annoying, let me tell you. That was not making me super happy there. That was really, really, really annoying. And let's just say I expressed that annoyance in the video. Now here we have ultramarine blue and some of the, what the heck is that? The manganese blue. And we're doing the same thing we did over here, kind of backfilling this a little bit here. Thanks, Blades. Appreciate that. Yeah, Blades. Actually, Blades, I'm going to be making some stickers for Adepticon. It's a design that Kathy had wanted to make years ago. And by years ago, I'm talking like 2015, 2016. But there was really nothing like... I mean, there was things like Vistaprint and other stuff back then, but it was very primitive and obviously way more expensive. And there weren't as many choices. So yeah, there's something. I'll send you the picture of it. Well, not tomorrow, but maybe Saturday or something like that. Now again, it's a graphic that Kathy wanted to do. She made a couple of different graphics. And I thought, oh, maybe this is the time to make these, and I'll have those at Adepticon too. This was when she was working at the T-shirt place, and she learned all this stuff about vectors and such, right, for making graphics. And because of where she worked, she actually had the, shall we say, the nice version of Photoshop, not Photoshop 7, like me, because that's what I still only have is Photoshop 7. Yeah, that's well, until it died, I was still using PageMaker. No problem, Blades. I did actually send him a question about, the limitation on number of different items. So Blades, either that or I'll set up another store and on another site or something like that. And that's where I can do things like, the Kathy stickers and some of the other stuff that maybe I can't put on the, what would you call it, the Streamlabs one or the official Twitch one, I guess. Maybe that's what we should call it. So sorry that you can't make it this year, Blades. Well, Blades, think about it this way. Now it kind of plays out this year, and then you'll kind of have a little better idea of what you might want to do next year. Whereas this year it's all kind of chaos because it's the first year in a new venue. So maybe you'll have a little better idea of what you might want to do, and obviously I'll try to fill you in as much as I can so that you have more kind of info to work with maybe. Hey there, Pure Vita, how you doing? Hey, Camden, nice to see you again. So Camden, actually, this is the latest, this is part of the latest tutorial video that I just put up on the Patreon page. Yeah, it was a printing workshop vid. Oh, by the way, this is 21 minutes. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. That right there, that's 21 minutes. Let me see. So, yeah, I think we're all set. Oh, let's bring some of this out here. Yeah. And all the way right up here to our lighting. So see, Blades, this is a perfect example of the approach right here, right? And of course, we could have used our lights here, right, to determine. So you see, we can kind of say, okay, that's where the blue is going to hit down in there. Cast shadows, whatever, that kind of thing. So Pura Vida, it's a very simple. It's just the, oh my goodness, that got buried. It's just some of that and some of this. It's very simple. That's it right there. And then obviously adding a little bit of the white. So this is the Griffin, basically quinacridone magenta, and that is the floral magenta, and that's all it took. Again, we added a little bit of the white, and that's it. That's all we needed. So great to see you there, Pura Vida. I hope that you are doing very well, of course. I will probably be getting some resupplies on my, well, again, the medicine these days is, oh, this is the Fruit Punch Mountain Dew Kickstart. Yeah, Mountain Dew Kickstart. It is really good stuff. You do one can of that stuff. You got 100% of your vitamin C. Let's see, 100% of your niacin, 90% of your vitamin B6. And let's see, oh yeah, and also some potassium, some iron. Because I never really thought that caffeine did much for me at all. So I think it's actually all the nutrients that are in it. Needless to say, I'll be stocking up on that for Adepticon. Who knows, half the stuff I might bring to Adepticon might just be cans of that. I think there's 16-ounce cans or something like that. Again, just adding in this blue here. Get a little bit of the manganese blue going. Now we got to figure out, if we're going to make those glowing, what color are they going to be? Is it going to be the magenta, or is it going to be what? And I also was wondering, do we make kind of glowing eyes for here, and do we maybe go with some green? Maybe we do that. I'm kind of tempted, I got to tell you. Well, there's only one way to know. If we don't like it, we just paint over it. I'm going to break out the floral green here. Let's see, Pura Vida, it's I think each it's a 12 pack. Now I've been getting them actually on Amazon now for basically $15 each. Now generally I'll have one of those over the course of the day. At Adepticon, I might need 17 of those before noon, just to survive. If it's anything like Adepticon, right, Blades? All right, let me do a little testola here. Let me do a test. Of course, all of those brushes are gone. No, I won't use that one. Oh, okay, here they are. That's where they're hiding. Not that one. There's the one I'm looking for. That one there. That one there. And that's going to be helpful. Where are you hiding? There you are. In fact, that might be all that I eat at Adepticon for 5 days or something like that. Is just we'll just do an intravenous of the Mountain Dew Kickstart from Monday until Monday. Something like that. It'll be the Adepticon diet. Alright, what are we doing here? Fill this in. Like you do. Then we're going to use our... Oh, that means I'm also going to have to get the... whatchamacallit, the phthalo green out there too. Thanks, Pura Vida. Blades, believe it or not, I do have fromage for tomorrow. I made sandwiches. I think I sent. Oh, I don't think I sent you the picture, but I made sandwiches, and the sandwiches have fromage. Actually, Blades, I should. Yeah, I don't think they would mind at all if we had like an open stove there in the hallway, and we made the craft dinners. So that way everybody could have fromage. I'm sure the hotel would be totally fine with that, right? Right, Blades? They would absolutely love it. So this will give you a chance to see just how not light this stuff is. It looked very light before, right, Camda? It's not really all that light. Because guess what? This is nowhere near white. Oh, and also, this is a pin line wash over black. How many times have we said you can thin the oils, you cannot dilute them? Is this not a classic example, Camda? That is a pin line wash. This is basically about 95% thinner right here. And yet, look at what's happening. Now we will be subduing this from here because I found that it's actually easier to do that when I was doing the Necron ship. No, well, no, really the Tau ships, but also the Necron ones too. So Blades, I think I sent you pictures of the pancakes, right? The apple cinnamon pancakes with the genuine maple syrup on there. I mean, if the jar is not shaped like a maple leaf, right, Blades? It ain't maple syrup. Yeah, again, you can thin the oils, but you cannot dilute them. Come on, a little more here. There we go. So again, that's just a precursor. That is just a precursor there. No. And then maybe we'll do this. Maybe not. I don't know. That might also change. So it's just it's just floral green and what's the other thing? I almost said the fast matte. Just floral green and our radiant green. That's it, radiant green. Just trying to spit that out there. Where's my? Let me mix this. Get a little bit of this blue in there. Alrighty. Now again, here's our references that we're working with here. And I generated these in AI just super quick. I mean, I had maybe 45 seconds. That's literally how I did two things. And the first one, as you can see, well, it was going a little bit old school with the one on the right. So then I tried to type in sci-fi. What's weird is that it actually got further from what I wanted when I went sci-fi. But again, we'll try that other method there, and we'll see if we can make that work. Valfera, what's weird is it showed up at the same time as a bunch of other Amazon packages. So at first I was thinking it was somebody for next door or whatever, because I'm like I don't know what this package is. It was a size and shape that was not expected. Let me see. So, actually, oh, Camda, that's the other thing is I think I found a couple of other potentially less expensive alternatives to some things. And unfortunately, I can't remember what they are right now. So my apologies there, Camda. I know I found Again, some substitutes for some things, just like you did there. I wish I could remember for you, but I just don't. So sorry about that. Because I'd certainly tell you, I wouldn't keep it secret, of course, or safe. Now here again, it's time for ye olde blending brush, and now you'll see whatever layer lines there might have been, those will vanish entirely. Here's my brush. Those are going to go away, never to be seen again. I just had that in my hand. Where'd it go? Yeah, that better continue over a little bit that way. So again, I apologize. Actually, believe it or not, actually, Valfira, technically this is early for a Thursday stream. It's weird to think that, right, Valfira? That this is actually, yeah, it's 11:25. Usually this is when we're starting the Thursday streams. So yeah, technically I'm early. Yeah, and Blades, Valfira, when I explained to him the whole story behind it, they thought that was like the most hilarious thing ever. So yes, they are now made well aware that mustard is the most lethal condiment known to humankind. This is still not my lightest light, by the way. Just to throw it out there. Hey there, Spoon Handle. How you doing? Everybody, please give Spoon Handle a follow. And of course, Blades, if you wanted to post anything in the chat, please go ahead. And well, Valfira, here's hoping that I guess now that you had your temperature swings, right? Because I guess it's still going to be super, super warm there coming up. Valfira, we didn't really have much in the way of ice. I guess Saturday is really more the day, I guess, that they were really supposed to have some ice. So, yep, this is that CA Sculpts bust. Remember the first time I painted it? Actually, Valfira, the first one that I painted was was printed by Lamines. Yeah, I didn't even print out the first one. So technically, this is the first CA Sculpts bust that I printed out. I printed out other CA Sculpts figures and such. But yeah, this is the first, this is actually the first bust right here. Hey there, Denethor, how you doing? Yeah, Spoon Handle, it's insane down there. I was hearing like some places in Texas are 90 degrees or something stupid like that. I mean, here it's already stupid warm. It's 34, something like that. There is the cold. It's finally gonna be winter again. Thank goodness. Certainly none of this 40-degree garbage. Now, Valfira, did you end up getting any kind of freezing rain out of that at all? Because this is also a weather channel, right? Nah, that's not what I want. Yeah, that's what we had, Blade. Same exact thing. I had gotten some salt for that. And that's not the cuisine channel kind either. So nice to do you there, Denethor. Nice to see you. How you doing? Everybody, please give Denethor a follow. Of course, Denethor, if you want to post some of your stuff in the chat, please go ahead. And again, this is the bust that I just posted in the on the Patreon page, the latest tutorial video. You can see me actually priming this thing in the tutorial as well. again, just using the blending brush there. And now we can start to maybe get a little bit more into our magenta here. Let's start doing that. Come on. Now, I'm glad that you're doing well there, Neff. Again, appreciate you being here. Now, again, this is printed out on the FDM printer. It's a Bambi X1 carbon. We did use the 0.08 layer height. Still working with the 0.4 nozzle. I will be, this coming week, I'm going to do some experiments with the 0.2 nozzle. I promise we'll be doing some 0.2 noz experiments coming up. But right now, again, we're just we're working with the 0.4. There we go. Where's Mr. Blending Brush? Where you hiding? There you are. Neff, well, we're just doing an all-nighter here. You can do an all-nighter with us. Yes, I'll probably be doing this till around 4 a.m., something like that. And then that's when I'll get picked up, and then we go off on our merry way. See, now we're starting to get some of the lighting coming this other way here. That's fantastic, Neff. Yeah, sadly, I just haven't had a chance to... Well, I thought I had a 0.2 nozzle here. I think there is, but when I look for it, I couldn't find it. So I said, if that's the way it's going to be, I'm just going to get me another one. But I had to wait until it was in stock because, of course, Bambi has a tendency to not have things in stock, and the only way you find out is to look and go, well, if it's not in the store, it must be out of stock. So Valfera, there was 4 of these miniatures here. These 4 took 25.5 hours to print. So yep, Denethor, this is in the latest video that I just posted. I think was it yesterday that I posted this one? Yeah, it's the printing workshop video. And if you remember, this one also was 3D printed, and this one also was 3D printed. This was a painting bust and also a printing workshop video. So thanks, Valfear. Appreciate that. Like I said, I ain't going to know very much anytime soon because my guess is we wouldn't even have any kind of word at all until I want to say maybe 2 in the afternoon or so, maybe. Could be even later than that. Could be more like 4 or 5 in the afternoon before they kind of at least give us any kind of early indications. One of the reasons I'm going there today is because, well, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a bunch of shipments coming here that, well, let's just say they're kind of weather sensitive. And since we are talking about ice and snow and all that other kind of stuff, that can't quite be sitting out on the veranda there, just kind of waiting. Yeah, let's kind of keep going here. Again, we're, what are we, Denethor? We're 44 minutes in on this. Yeah, 44 minutes ago, this had no paint on it whatsoever. Valfera, I think you heard me talking, right? That's a little bit of strategery, is that one way to save on filament is to have ungodly long prints, right, Valfera? That'll save you on filament when the printer's taken 25, 30 hours to do just one print. What would you say that's enforced discipline, enforced printing discipline? There you go. That is imposed printing discipline right there. So again, we're just trying to get some of this lighter magenta here. We will be going lighter than this. So Neff, they might be getting a couple of nor'easters there. I think there's some parts in the northeast that could have, now it might depend on elevation and stuff, but we're talking about 10 to 13 inches of snow over the course of the next 2 or 3 weather events. So there's, again, this is not just a, it's not just a Lord of the Rings channel, or an object source lighting channel, or a freehand channel, or a cavalry channel. A Lord of the Rings, Song of Ice and Fire, or a cuisine channel, or an exercise channel, or a home repair channel. It's also a weather channel. It's a meteorology. I was making Kathy's family, I was talking to her mom, and I was telling her all the things that I've learned about weather, about hodographs, negatively tilted troughs, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, we'll get me a little bit of that over here. Blending brush over here. I guess Sectorix, there was something, Elegoo has got some kind of new printer coming out or whatever. I don't know if it's an FDM style or if it's a new resin printer. It's just, obviously I was on the site to get, my filament there, and that they were talking about some kind of new printer or something like that. Now here, yeah, fine, whatever this stuff is. Again, we're only just getting started. Now again, Denethor, I don't know if you had a chance to post any of your stuff in the chat. And I guess now, Denethor, were you going to do maybe a sculpting stream, or was it going to be a painting stream, or were you just going to kind of do a combo platter of maybe a sculpting, painting, something? So it's the Elegoo version of the X1. So I guess the big question, Velfair, is how much for that doggy in the window? That's the question, right, Velfaira? Yeah, how much is that going to be in relation to the X1? And will it have all the annoying traits of the X1? It may not. It might have all its own annoying traits, right, Velfaira? Now, of course, I had a blast while I was doing this, and of course, these as well, saying that, with the 0.2 nozzle especially, these might not be all that different than what comes out of that, out of the Anycubic Mono X. It may not be all that much different as far as resolution goes. And again, some of the other advantages we talked about, right? I mean, I can hammer away at this thing. I literally was taking a saw to this thing, right? And unlike the resin, it's not going to shatter. It's not going to do whatever. I mean, how many people take painted busts and then take their head and go like that? Usually they're not doing that with the resin, I don't think. And yes, I was hitting that as hard as I could as well. That's why I was making so much noise there. I think I did that during the filming last night. So again, we're not. It's not to replace resin printing, but it's an option for folks that say, you know what, I really can't have a resin printer because whatever reason, pets, kids, fumes, whatever. Well, this is an option for you. Again, it's not going to necessarily take the place of it. It's not going to be a 16K result. I'm pretty sure we can surmise that. However, again, for folks, maybe this could be a potential option so that they can do things that they thought they never could do before. And that's what we're all about here, right? It's all about options. Velfira, I think eventually I want to print that printer that prints houses. Actually, Velfira, didn't you send me the was it the video of the concrete printer that literally prints in concrete? I think you might have sent me that video. Blending brush, where did you go? There you are. There. So again, well, we're going to do more of the lighter stuff here on the blue side. And again, that's 51 minutes in. Yeah, Neff, those were all the things that I kept bringing up. I said, yeah, you know what? What if, right, this, and this? And that's all those what ifs, right, Neff? Now a little further, I'm going to just take the Indigo. Also a little up here. A little more down there. Because again, we haven't done a whole lot of reflected light or anything down there. Yeah, I'm just going to keep blending that together. I wonder, let me take this, or whoops, wrong brush. That one. I got some of the ultramarine blue here. It's not really, it's a little bit of a value change, but it's as much of a color change right here. Effectively the same color we got going on over there. That's going to be happening over here. Yep. You can see it's got a little more red to it than that. That's got more of the indigo and the Prussian blue. This is more of the ultramarine. So we're kind of pushing more towards this, even though it's not magenta. This again has more of a red to it, like kind of what we have over here. Remember, if a color goes somewhere, it must go everywhere. So again, still sneaking in some of the ice blue with our other blues there. Again, that's to try and gray this down slightly. Now we need to catch a little bit more of that light up here. I have a second one of these doing it. Well, I'm just going to maybe use this here. Fine. We're going to use this as a blending brush. Look at that. See how that softens that end? Now, here, let's turn this around. And all we're doing is just tapping it. We're not doing this. That's just going to smear it. We're just doing this little tap, tap, tap right there. Now, Grand Oracle, this are there going to be swim events to do this weekend, or more scouting stuff, or both? Because sometimes it's both of them on the same weekend. Here's hoping that you get a little bit of time. Now, the stuff you're seeing there, that's cloth texture. That is not layer lines. That's supposed to be there. If this was a resin print, it should still be there, because that is intentional detail. That is not layer lines. Just so you know. Where'd my... There you are. There you are, hiding over there. Can't using this filbert brush as a de facto blending brush. So now we're getting a little cascade of like coming this way right here. So Grant Oracle, again, for folks that also they can't, have any of the toxic stuff around because of pets, kids, whatever. Also, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. I'm telling you right now. You might, for the most part, I think any kind of larger busts like this, I'm just going to print them out on the FDM printer. And not even bother with the resin anymore because that gets pricey. Also, too, a lot of them have to be shipped out, so definitely makes them way less breakable. Could practically just chuck them in a box with a little bit of bubble wrap and be done with it. Yeah, Grand Oracle, I know Max Velocity was talking about some part, I guess, like the higher elevations in the Pac Northwest. We're going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 inches of snow. Again, obviously a higher elevation kind of a thing. As in many thousands of feet above sea level, right? Yeah, we're going to get some of our lighter blue in there. Some of it along this line right here. So Grand Oracle, I don't know if you remember the stream where right about here is where it ran out of filament. I thought I had it pretty much calculated down to literally the last layer, but I was about, I think, 11 layers off. And that's where I basically had to leave the stream for a bit, and I ended up just waiting for that to finish so that I could grab it and show it on stream. You know what? I think I need to make that cheek lighter. Also, that I think needs to be a little lighter. Oh, and this too. This needs to catch a bit more light right here. Same here. A little bit more light right in that area. Actually, Grand Oracle, I was thinking I should maybe print up some of these for Adepticon. Mostly because, again, it would be virtually indestructible bust. Wouldn't exactly require any special packing. And, actually, Grand Oracle, also I've got some Gamblin chromatic black headed this way because, well, we've had one or two questions about that, right? And I thought, well, finally, I can at least say, yes, I've used it. So that is on its way here. Oh, and also, too, there's it's not the biggest container of this, but it's kind of the middle one. I think it's, 100 and something mil or whatever. So maybe not the biggest jar of it, but definitely more than, well, that other one's practically empty. So no matter what, it's going to be more. I might just have to get some more of my fast matte white out here because this is mostly used up here. I also got the Winsor Newton Griffin white so that we can do a little direct comparison, say, between that and the fast matte white, see if they're the same. Speaking of fast matte white, let's get them. Remember, I wanted to get some heavy duty light on the shoulder here. Now we're getting there. Now we're doing it, and maybe a teensy bit there. The edge of this surface right here. Come on. There we go. Also over here. The Griffins, I gotta say, Grant Oracle, been very surprised that they are so darn cheap, and they have been shockingly good, shockingly effective. Blending brush, blending brush, blending brush. We'll just use this thing maybe. Can spread some of that lighter stuff around. There's more, whole bunch more stuff that we'll be doing down into these areas. Now again, we're 2 hours 40 minutes in. That is it. 2 hours and 40 minutes. So there's plenty more that we can do here. Still breaking down that fast mat right over there. See what we can do with these little, those like little ventilation holes here. Probably come back at them with some of our darker stuff too. This is another area where I need to, let me just hold it this way. Some of those edges need to be reinforced again with some of the latest light here. Actually, I should be using this brush. So yeah, surface tension, that would be this Sunday, which compared to the glorious college football playoff, it's just actually surface tension. I almost forgot. If you hadn't said that, I was like, oh yeah, that is this week. That is Sunday. Of course, too, if it wasn't a repeat of basically last year's or whatever. I mean, let's put it this way, we've seen this before. We've seen it before. So the interest level is not high. Now, of course, as college football fans, we've seen these players grow up on the college gridiron, so it's the curious thing. You know, you see them as they're out now in the pros and such. Let me see if we can also hit some of our lighter stuff along here where our magenta is. Surface tension, again, there is some interest. It's when one of the teams, this is their third time in a row, and I believe, I think their fifth time in the last 6 years. There's, it gets a little tiresome. Just here, surface tension. I'll send you some fun memes. Let's put it this way: referees in alternative uniforms. So surface tension isn't the king of lists right now. It's the Eagles list. In MESBG, apparently that is the dominant list now. At least I don't know if there's a certain point scale where it maybe ceases to be. Probably at lower points, my guess is in your lower point tournaments, that is a very dominant kind of a list there. Because with the baby eagles, I guess you can get lots of birdies for not as much. Come on, there we go. See, I'm trying to catch some of those little lights right there, the edges there. I'm going to use you again because I popped that lighter stuff. Here, let me do this again. Let me do this again. Now watch what happens here. And I'm going to maybe chuck a little bit more of this reflected light here on the lower lip. Now, let me go back here. Let me zoom in like so. And let me show you again the references. So yeah, see that reflected light on the lower lip there, on upper lip, right? That's what we're trying to do. I don't know if this one shows it so much, but definitely the image on the left-hand side, you can really see the again, you can see some of that reflected light on there. Actually, surface tension, I was thinking, well, like the Candish guys, they have a chieftain. Who else has chieftains? Actually, the goblins have chieftains, right? No, they're goblin captains. Oh, the Dunlendings. I think that's actually a Dunlending chieftain, and also too your Wozers. I think it's well, no, there's I think it's just like the Wozers chieftain or something like that. Easterlings are captains. I think orcs, yeah, they're captains too. I'm trying to think who else uses chieftain. Oh, the troll chieftain. Yeah, there you go. Surface tension. Yes, I think the Mordor troll chieftain. Well, that would be interesting. Surface tension. An eagle versus the Mordor troll chieftain. It's the Silmarillion Super Bowl. Now I'm going to go here. Let's get not so much of the white, because that needs to extend a little further, but not quite so late. Okay, there we go. That makes a little more sense now on that lower lip. Surface tension. Now all of a sudden I've got to paint a Mordor troll chieftain in Kansas City Chiefs colors. I only have about 30 of those printed out, surface tension, so I think we've got the stuff, I think we got some ones laying around we could play around with. I've got the Diwali ones, I've got the Medbury ones, the Kurz look, printing goes ever on. Yeah, we got a couple. We could sacrifice a few. Oh yeah, look at that. Really liking that reflected light on that lower lip there, for sure. I'm going to darken this down. Where's my phthalo green? And again, some more of the floral green here. Yeah, there we are. Now, what's going on with this stuff here? Nah, I can't mess with that too much. I'm gonna, if anything, I will go a little later. But first, let me work this. See, we got all this little crazy stuff going on here. We're going to get rid of some of that. We are going to get rid of some of that. Clean that up a bit. Alrighty then, now let's do some darker stuff here, and I might even just use, again, our floral green and the indigo, so indigo green. Yeah, surface tension, and the fans too, yeah, right, you know, because you can't have a Blood Bowl team without the fans. You gotta have them too. Just wouldn't be Blood Bowl without it, right? To re-darken that top edge of these, again, to make that match. Come on, let me get this one, also that one, and this. That's all going to get mixed together there. Getting some more dark in here. Also over there. What's happening with this stuff right here? First. Nah, that's way too much thinner on there. There's another whole line that's got to come all the way across this way. So one second here, let me try and get this line that comes all the way over. Comes down into here. Not that way. Not that way. Let me just scrub some of that away. There we go. So we just orientate that brush the right way. Catch a little bit more of it there. Now this will be a little bit lighter down in here. Like you do. Got some of the fast matte white going for here. Touch of it right there. No, that's not where that's supposed to go. We'll be coming back with some of our light then, or some of our dark then, to recapture that edge. Use you as a blending brush over here. Again, precision brush strokes right there. Now we'll take this and we're back to our little tapping motion, and oh, look at that. So it just gets all spread out nice and easy. That didn't have to be difficult, did it? Nope. Didn't have to be difficult. Well, I'm still probably going to be sticking my finger on that and wiping that out, but I'm going to get that edge anyhow. Light there. some here, more there. So what are we at now? Not even 3 hours. 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 51 seconds ago. Well, this was just primer. It was the Stynylrez black primer mixed with the blue ink. So yeah, we've got some other experimental colors that are kind of on the way. We'll see how they kind of compare to some other stuff. Let me see if we can. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. Hansa yellow medium. Because we're just about out of the fast matte, right? We're running kind of low on this, so we've got the regular Gamlin version of this. We'll see what that's like. Again, we got that titanium white, the chromatic black. I do have another thing of the Griffin Alkids. I've got, well, the light red, which I think, and this is where you come in there, Thranual. Remember, you got your, was that your Mars Orange? Well, I think that the Winsor Newton Griffin Alkids Light Red is essentially Mars Orange / Terra Rosa. We shall see. We won't know until we try it, but we got, well, let's just say there'll be some more color theory and oil vids coming up real soon. Actually, I think, Grand Oracle, I sent you that link to the Discord thing to check out the color charts. If I didn't, my apologies, and I'll try to get you that. But I thought I sent you that. I sent it to a few folks. Sent it to Valfair. I think I sent it to Landrast. I'm going to make that a little lighter. Nope, not that light. Let me get back to my ultramarine blue here. A little more. Little more. That's going to go... There we go. That is going to go up here. It's not just the value of it, it's the, just like this, right? See, it's a bit more of a reddish blue right there. So yeah, I was trying to, best as I could, take advantage of the paint sale that's going on right now on the Dick Blick website. The free shipping is, I think you got to basically get $70 of stuff to get to the free shipping level. Not surprised, right, that they would do that at the same time they've got their big paint sale going on. So the people aren't just like, oh, I'll just get this one real cheap tube of paint and that's it. So we'll probably end up maybe buying more stuff. But again, you just you kind of get the stuff that you're going to need, or maybe things that you have been wanting to try for a while. Now here I can finally take some of that darker stuff here and like this ultramarine blue. There, I've been waiting to do that for a while. Here, let's take that and get that blended in there. There we are. And we'll do the same deal up here too. Like you do. Still working with that. Up here. A little more of it right there. Come on here. Alright, some more there. Oh yeah, that needs to be even a little lighter right over here. A little bit down in this corner. Not a bunch. We need some there. Now over here, I'm gonna try and. Now I think I can finally do something on this edge. I had to kind of wait till we had all the dark in place. Yeah, this edge to do. We have like 3 successive edges that we got to do right here. And if the lighter stuff gets a little thicker than we want, we'll just come back with the darker stuff and effectively just kind of cut away at some of that. This is still not actually as light as we can go on this stuff right here. We are using nothing but our synthetic brushes. These are the Princeton liner brushes here. We use the Princeton filbert brushes to do a lot of the dry brush action here. That was all of our source light. Let me hit this too. There we are. Once again, we're a grand total of 3 hours into this. That is it. Which means I think I'll be able to put this, turn this into a nice little YouTube vid. Obviously, we're probably going to remove,
little hobbit, spark my gun,
ironically enough, some of the puppet shows. Thank you so much, Sangros. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's like, so what do you think of that scale ale? So, what are you talking about? It's like, you know, it's that craft brew. The halflings are really into that. The walrus makes that stuff. It's like, that's why you have fish breath. It's like, I'm a cat. I always have fish breath. Thank you so much for that follow, Sangros. Appreciate that. Okay, that's a solid roll. That is a solid roll. So far, we have not had the dreaded single pip. We come close. Couple of 2s. We haven't had any of the 6s. We had actually a pair of 5s to start out the evening here. So thank you so much, Sangros. Appreciate that. Boy, oh boy, that cat office, that's never going to get old. Actually, though, there you go. I should try and print out some of the Lord of the Rings cats in the larger size and see what happens on the FDM printer. We'll see you later there. Thank you so much for being here. Surface tension. Yes, indeed. So see you later there, Surface Tension. I hope that your Friday is spectacular. And again, won't be able to do the usual stream on our Friday. But we'll see if we're doing, I probably won't be doing a Sunday stream. It's possible. Might be doing a Sunday stream. Now, Monday is, well, we're going to be doing more of our Tau. Because that might be finishing off that fleet. So yeah, I think our Armada Monday will be more Battlefleet Gothic. And I think we'll finish off the last of the Tau. So you'll be seeing, I think there's still more bases to paint. So yeah, I think you'll still be seeing the magenta on some of the bases that I'll be painting. Again, doing a little bit of our darker magenta right along those edges there, and then of course we grab our blending brush right here, like you do. Look at that. There you go. Now this, I'm going to try and clean this up a little bit right here. Okay, that's better. Now, that lighter ultramarine blue. Is this what I was using on the other side? Well, that's just about right. Look, blending brush. Little tap, tap, tap. And there we go. You know what? I'm going to try and get me a little bit more of that over here. A little more of that down here as well. A little bit of that down here. Well, here we are. It's like, where'd that go? So we're also going to try and lighten this up a little bit here. That, no, that's just going to have our ambient. God, that's not going to get the, that will not catch the magenta over there, I don't think. So let's try this. Not a ton, but we need a little something here. I tell you, that printed out better with this than it did on the resin bus, because I don't remember that being there. Now, granted, the resin bus was smaller than this, but I don't really remember that little bit of a texture or detail there. Again, continuing to build up a little more of that light right along this one little section here. Maybe another bit of reflected light along here, but not this color. We need that ultramarine blue. So this, the ultramarine mixed with the fast matte white. I guess I need to just grab some more fast matte out here. All right, down in this this recess here. It's the same texture as what we were just doing down there. This is almost a dry brush down in here. Then again, we'll take this blending brush here and we'll just smush that around. That is, again, a real easy way to be able to get paint in some super hard to reach areas. And I mean some hard to reach areas. Where's that same? So that, again, that's got a little bit of a reddish tinge to it, whereas some of our other blue, it's more neutral, again, somewhat tinted, I guess you could say, towards the green. I'm just going to get back to one of my references here. And again, these are the references that we generated super quick using the AI. Again, this is more than good enough as a reference. So you can see again how we're trying to light the face in a very similar way. You know, I think I'm gonna actually try to do a little bit more of the lighter stuff on this on the upper lip here. Let me see if we can do that. There. Don't want to outline it. That's that is not what I want to do there. Blending brush here, like so. Over here I wanted to do a little bit more. There's a whole bunch of texture going on over here. I want to at least get a little more of that. Blending brush there too. Okay. anything? That needs some. This is another little edge down here that's got just a whole bunch of the light and then not much gradation around it. This I want to do a little bit of reflected light here. Kind of like what we're trying to create over there. Once again, with the blending brush over here. There. Come on. Maybe up onto that surface just a bit. Now that we've got, basically paint everywhere, it's a whole lot easier to do a quick bit of wet blending because there's something to wet blend into everywhere. When we first started out, and we literally just did a mass dry brush, and I mean, here you go. That is the kind of brush we were using to start out on this thing. There really wasn't any kind of wet paint to blend into, but now that we've been at this, now finally over 3 hours, now we've got ourselves some wet paint that we can just kind of blend into here, and that's what we're doing. Let's do here. Let me again just trying to grab my my references here so that I can take a look. You can see some smaller versions of them in the lower left and right hand corners on the screen. I might even throw a little bit more of our blue in here, so not just darker there. Let's see. Look at that. Look at that. That wasn't very. I mean, it was a couple of brush strokes. That's all it took, and boy, that really added a bunch more interest on that side, didn't it? And it looks that much more, say, metallic. Because metal surfaces, well, they always reflect their surroundings, don't they? Again, well, working with this a little bit of the ultramarine, and that's the key thing here. Is that's a very reddish blue, and there is such a thing as a reddish blue as opposed to a blue that maybe is a bit more towards the green. I'm doing a little more of that in here too. Looking to do a little bit of the wet blending as well. Again, now that we've got plenty of the paint there to do that with. Right, okay, yeah. Settle it up there. In here, I want to, right there, we got a little bit of too much color variation in that. We need to simplify that a bit. Let me see if we've got the right magenta to use. Yeah, we're just about there. Think of the fluorescent magenta as a warmer magenta, so that's kind of like our ultramarine blue, whereas the quinacridone magenta, that's more that greenish blue, basically. So we got essentially two different colors of blue, and then we also have two different colors of our magenta. Back to this over here. Catch a little more of the light right there on the side of the chin. So I think actually what we'll do on, well, probably at the Saturday stream would be this one. I mean, might as well keep on rolling with these. They're ready to go. I think so. That might be the next one that I do. Nice thing is that I already have, well, look, we can just match this. This is the one, again, from one of our tutorial videos. So we'll have ourselves already a pre-made color reference. I won't have to go into AI and scare something up. Again, this could probably use a little bit more of our lighter magenta on it here. And as I do this kind of a stippling sort of brush stroke, you can see that it mixes in. See, look at that. That actually takes the paint that's already there and mixes them together. Let me see if yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of the magenta right along that edge. Now let me get some more fast matte white out here. I want to really hit that along the top. And then if I need to, I can come back with the darker stuff. So here we're adding some of our fast matte white. That's going back out here. I will just take a little drop of my thinner just to start breaking that down. There we go. No. Let me get that really cleaned out. Just start to break this down. I don't want to have too much thinner in there though, because then it will just become a pin line wash. Also, I mean, this is an FDM print. It will sink into those, even if we can't see the layer lines, it will sink in there and start spreading around all over the place. So that is something else to think about. It can happen a little bit with the resin print, but definitely will happen with the FDM style. So again, this is it's our fast matte white, almost a straight up fast matte white there. To really capture this lightest portion of that edge. Same on these bits here. And definitely right there. Let me get some more of that going here. Also, here, we had it kind of sort on the other side. Oh, and also here too. That is what we needed. Okay, so see, now we're starting to get that coming straight down there. And again, we have I did a version of this bust in resin on the Patreon page. We have, there's also a figure version of this. Yes, there is a figure version of this. I might try to print out the figure version much larger on the FDM printer, but I have a 72 mil version, and we'll possibly be painting that on stream too. Either that or it'll be a tutorial vid. Yeah, this is from CA Sculpts. Let me, I'm tempted to make this, nope, I'm going to take that same ultramarine here. So we're taking some of this here. Let's not have it be quite as light. And then maybe hit this. I'm just looking at one of my references, and it seems like maybe that could be just a teensy bit lighter. Mix some of this down into here. Also right there. Again, that's a slightly different color of blue. It's got more of a reddish hue to it than our other stuff. Now I'm back over here again. So in the... I'm going to get me some of this green out here on these surfaces. So we'll take the radiant green. We're going to mix it with our floral green here. That'll give it some opacity as well. And you can see that's mixing, right? There's plenty of paint sitting there to mix with. Some of it there, just whatever is a blending brush here. Catching some of these surfaces, and then again, a little bit of our green. Let me see if I can scooch it over this way. Look where I'm holding this brush, right? Hashtag no death grip on the brush. Caress the brush, don't crush the brush. And look where I'm holding this. Before I was holding it literally back here. Nowhere near this metal, nowhere near that metal ferrule. I've seen people literally have a death grip on that brush. I keep thinking, like, are they literally trying to snap that brush in, snap that brush in half with their hand? Are they painting with it, or are they going to stab somebody with it? Because it sure looks like they're looking to stab somebody. Well, you work as a blending brush looks that way. More of that green up in here. Come on, there we go. Now let me see if I can, since I got some more fast matte white out here too, let me see if I can go with this much lighter green again. Come on, there we go. And that would go down into these areas again. And reorganize these a little bit more. And expanding on the light that is in there already. These corner ones, those are going to be a little more tricksy to get to. That's where the blending brush will, I think, also be very helpful. Okay, that's got more of the, just a floral green in there. And we're just going to drag that lighter color up a little further. Like this. Back to the lighter color over here. All the way down into that area. Like this. Here. Oh yeah, you can kind of see where this kind of ends a little bit abruptly. Not so much anymore. Now I'm going to go with the lighter stuff. Now back to the mid. And now in here, I'm going to try and go much heavier with this lighter stuff again, but now not nowhere near as much of that thinner. And that should help solidify again some of the edges here. That's why I haven't really done any of the curved highlight lines back in that area, because I need to stick my finger on there. Hey, Crazy Wolf, how you doing? Happy Friday there, Crazy Wolf. Thank you so much. That is 3 baker's dozens right there. Them are the best kind of dozens, right, Crazy Wolf? So Crazy Wolf, hopefully the printing goes well. And again, I wasn't sure if you wanted to share some of your stuff in the chat there. If you want to share some of that, please go ahead. So Crazy Wolf, yeah, this is one of those, it's one of the FDM printed busts right here. Still with the 0.4 nozzle. Oh, yeah. Ooh, wait. Now we're going to come back with this darker green once again here. On these little crossbars here. Let's do that. So again, with the one thing you're going to have though with these, again, with these layer lines, right? It can be a little mischievous because well, at least not necessarily visible layer lines, but the invisible ones. Thanks, Crazy Wolf. Yeah, just it's amazing. Right now, this is with the adaptive layers, and of course, once this is not so shiny, there's even going to be less of that. And again, because this was also painted with the oil paints, that's also printed with the FDM printer. We created a little plinth right here. So I that's just a paintbrush right there. Yeah, it was one of our craft brushes where it had dried up tile grout in it. So I just took a saw to it and boom. So thanks, Crazy Wolf. Appreciate that. We're gonna continue those experiments. They have definitely been worthwhile. I'm gonna just use this one here. Just going to do this here again. Just you can see now we got a little bit of reflected light there, and that's got some of our blue into it. Now, Crazy Wolf, I was looking around for polystyrene tubing, all this other kind of stuff, and I went, wait a second. I probably have 30 different brushes that are so destroyed that those handles would make a worthy sacrifice for a plinth whatever. So yeah, found one of those and it worked out just fine. You know what? I'm going to throw a little bit of this down there too. Maybe, no, I need to make sure that that does have some kind of dark in between where the blue and, again, where the violet is. And also here and I did record some of this too. These are some miniatures that I printed out with the FDM printer. Again, still working with the 0.4 nozzle. I'm hoping this coming week to be able to try and do the first tests with the 0.2 nozzle. Those could take a while to print. Actually, crazy. I was able to get my, again, not the matte PLA, but at least the black PLA at the $99 for 10 spools, direct from Elegoo. Also, again, no shipping, no sales tax, which probably saves another 25 to 30 bucks right there. Gonna try to lighten that up a smidge of it. Okay, now a little bit more again to the blue. Blending brush, blending brush, blending brush. Just a little tip right there. You know what? I'm going to do a little more of that out here. Just feather that ever so lightly. Might even expand this light a little further to the left here, because that sticks out more than the chin. So yeah, that makes sense. And so I might also here hit this teensy bit lighter, because it's also going to make the reflected light we got down there stand out a little bit more too. I'm going to try something like this here again, based on, see how we kind of expanded on some of the greens out there. I might do some of that around the eyes. But first, we will take our phthalo green plus the indigo, because that needs to be just darker in there. We lost that little line in there too. Maybe, okay, yeah, a little bit more of a gradation on that. Now, how's about we take some of our floral green? Let me see just what we can do. I don't know how much of this I can get, say, around the eyes, or what I was looking to do is a bit right here. Just a tiny, tiny bit of the green here. Not much. And maybe not too late. Get that on that upper eyelid. This one too. That's what tells me this is not too bad when it comes to detail, that I can be painting this little upper eyelid here, and that's still printed okay. Yeah, I think that does contribute a little bit to some glowing with the eyes there. I'm maybe gonna backfill that a little here. Touch of it there, maybe. there on that edge, and then a touch of it over here. Above the eye here. Now I might, on this here, I spy with my little eye, something I might want to on this eye make lighter here. Let me get that magenta going. Because, no, that's too much thinner. Let's, gotta make that thicker. Making that a little bit thicker, and that's gonna, I think, extend down this way a bit more. And I might also want to get, again, just like we did over there, with that side of the mouth, I think I want to get that little, when the corners of the mouth, they're tricksy. Most people just have those being just dark, and there's actually that little bit of light. There's some fatty tissue right around that side, where light tends to sneak its way in there. Now that is, that's almost straight up floral magenta that I just put on there. So we've got the floral magenta, the floral green, we got the radiant green, got the ultramarine blue, got the quinacridone magenta. Those are the Griffin versions of those. The usual indigo. There's not much out there. There's maybe 10 actual colors that I've maybe used here. I don't even know if it's that many. And you can see how things started right there. Yep, you can see just how things started. Let me try something here. There's that indigo. Oops, okay, there was a whole bunch of thinner for whatever reason on that brush. I'm going to do this. And now I'm going to try to add a little something here. Let me take some of this. And that is going to go down in this recess a little bit. Just a tiny bit, that's it. Now get another little quick look-see at, again, some of our references here. So I might still try to get a little more shadow, maybe. Let's see on the other side. Okay, oh yeah. You see in the corners of the mouth there, see those, the lights that you have down in there? Most people just tend to make the corners of the mouth just darker. On both of those, you can see in the corner. I wonder if it's, yeah, same deal here. There's that little bit of light that you see down there in the corners of the mouth. So that's something that you really want to make sure that you have. Let me take a little bit of this. There, and that's another thing here. I'm going to take this. Again, there's just a little bit of that dark blue on the brush, and I'm just going to use it just to tone things down a little bit. Again, it's stuff that was already on that brush. Now, there's a couple of things here that are just way, way, way too light. Let me see if I can do this. Come on, a little bit of the Prussian blue as well into the Prussian blue is more of a greenish blue. But this right here, we okay, there we need to sharpen that up. We put that lighter stuff on there, Then I kind of overtook this whole thing. Now, granted, that maybe is one part that didn't print out quite as clean, maybe, as some of the other stuff. I think overall, I'm just going to start toning some of that down. Because that got a little bit light, and it's kind of taken away some. That I might extend this over a little bit too. Gotta make sure it's not too light though. Let me try with this here. So we'll do that first, and now we'll come back in with maybe this much of our light. Right here on the bridge of that nose. Also on the nostril here. This here, for whatever reason, that just stopped right there. That's got to keep going. I think this needs to continue to be somewhat lighter down here, because with this, you want this line to continue. I think we lost a little bit of that, so we're going to start bringing in some of that some more right here. Like so. A little touch more there, and nope, gotta bring some more of this out here. Good enough there. Okay, now I'm gonna catch a smidge more of that light right there, and then it fades. See, it gets down here. Little touch more light on some of that. Little something there, and that's just gonna mix with the magenta that's already there. Can see it. See all that darker stuff on the end of the brush? All right. Let me here do that. Just looking again at my references real quick. Okay, back into some of our lighter blue. This is the cooler stuff. Not quite as much of the red in there. That's better. And trying to make almost again a little reflected light here of some kind. That needs a little different shape. Also, these need some light in them here. Let me, there we go. Just needed to thin that down. There we are. The armor is different shape on either side here. It's very asymmetrical, this whole thing. Very asymmetrical. Now, fast matte white sitting over here. There. So we'll find our couple of areas with the fast matte white there. Now on this part where we got the magenta here. These are gonna need some now. That will definitely need, just like we did on the front, we need to start doing some of that here, except in a little different part of all these. So see, now that's, the light's coming down, getting caught there. Also here we can do this part now. Been waiting on this, because I don't really need to necessarily, I think, stick my hand on this part. And then that starts to fade a little as it goes that way. Comes across and over this way. All this stuff is going to need that same lighter tone here. Yeah, I just been kind of waiting to do this because we needed for some of this paint to set. We needed to be able to get to certain areas before this. Definitely need some of that light along here. Now we're going to try and get some of that green reflected in here. So we're back to our floral green again. And that will be kind of in here. Maybe get a little bit of that green down onto this. Also maybe some in there. Over here now. Come on. That seems light. That's actually barely a dark middle tone that looks so light there. It's because everything else, again, around it, relatively dark. Now we need to hear some of the lighter green working its way in there. I wonder, let me try something here. Let me see if this is the way we want to roll on the underside of each of these little sections out here. Does that make sense? It kind of does. So we're going to have to do that on each one of these as we work our way around this. Not there. So again, it's a super light green. Yeah, it was a little too rough along that edge. Now this, I think, cleans it up and also, again, makes it look like there's some of our light reflecting on this. It's some of our fast matte white mixed with a little bit of the radiant green and also some of the floral green. And keeping in mind, this is an FDM print here. This is not a resin print. I need to, get some overlay along the bottom of this thing here. Gotta get these last few here. Gotta find a place to stick my fingers. I think that's the last. Okay, that's the last one of those. Catch some light along the edge of this. And then I'm also going to need to do something here. So I'm going to take my green fluoro and the phthalo, kind of what we did in this section over here. I'm going to try and do a similar deal in here. It's partially cleanup, it's partially to light. Oh, yeah, that is just about right. Yes, indeed. That is just about right there. Yep, that really does help. It's as much about the color of it as it is the dark, and also too it's kind of organizing where maybe some parts of that little glaze that we did down in there went a little askew. Now that again kind of sets them back up, kind of moves them back to where they should be. Yeah, big difference here. I don't quite remember what I ended up doing with this. I don't think I went with the glow on the original tutorial episode with this bust here. It was a while ago, again, because I didn't actually print the one that I painted. I think we've gotten all the little sections there now. Alright. Oh, and again, 3 hours 51 minutes ago, this had no paint on it whatsoever. No paint on this. Again, don't blink. It happens quick. So says the weeping angel. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want the ultramarine blue down in here. It's again some of this texture that is up in here, and I just want to get me a little bit of that. Especially right over here. And that I'm going to say is kind of a bit of a cast shadow. I'm going to go a little lighter out here on this. Just that edge there. Okay, I'm going to continue with this. Like that. A little lighter edge on, yeah, here too. That might catch a little bit more of our light color. So more of the ultramarine blue in here. Again, just to make a color there, not so much a value change. I think I'm going to get a little bit of that down in here too. And that needs, I think we need more reflectivity on this. Blending brush, maybe I'll just use this guy here. Again, because I'm just doing a little bit of tap, tap, tap. That's all it is. constantly have to be aware of how much thinner is in that mix, especially, I mean, it is with anything, but especially when you're doing this type of material, because again, it will sink into the layer lines and then spread out. When we were painting those Candish yurts, that's where we really discovered that. I wonder if that was the first terrain we painted, or if it was the Easterling terrain. I think it was probably the Candish yurts. Our FDM stuff has come a long way since then, and it's not like that was years ago. That was just a matter of months ago. And I want to get, yeah, a little bit of that light here. Now, these guys also need a little, not that much. Still too much thinner. Gotta back away from that. Now we finally get the amount of thinner right there. There was just too much of it. Let me see if I can get this line along here. Also that one there. Carry that a little bit this way. Now over here, I think what I'm going to do is carry more of the magenta on that. Let me try this. More of it here. Blending brush. Maybe we'll use this one. And then along here too. Continuing that, again, the reflected light. Maybe that goes a little further this way. Blending brush again. Soften that up. A little touch of our blue right in there. Let me get that dark stuff. And that's our indigo mixed with the magenta. So indigo magenta, there you are. That's the quinacridone magenta, and that is it's not the regular quinacridone magenta. That's the alkyd version. Trying to catch a little dark there. We're going to do the same here now. We're going to use this again as a blending brush, just a soft, junky old brush. Same there. So now we have light, dark, and then light. That's the only way we're going to get the reflected light to stand out. When in doubt, make things darker. I mean, after a while, you can only highlight things so much. You can kind of almost always make things darker. Making things lighter can start getting jinky after a while. All right, there we are. And we're doing this. sneak in some. There we go. And that's almost a bit more of a pin line wash. There's another area over here. Remember, that kind of got filled in a little bit. So we're going to take this and we're going to separate those areas again. Now here, I think this is another place where I can use this and then the blending brush. You see what we're doing here? We kind of creep this little, it's like a little wedge that comes up that way. And that, again, creates that effective light, dark, and light. And see, we're doing it over there. Once again, with the blending brush to soften the edge of that. And then we'll do that same deal up here. Now, let's see what happens when I really bring in a hefty... Ooh, gee whiz, way too much thinner there. A bright highlight along... Okay, this edge here, because I'm hopefully not going to have to be sticking my finger on that too much more. These now. Again, thanks Armored Wolf for posting a link to the Patreon page. And if you want to see how this was printed out and how this was printed out and painted, that is on the Patreon page. Again, talking about how to do something like this instead of on a traditional resin printer. How would you do this on an FDM style printer? And again, that's the one that uses the spool of filament, where you don't really have to necessarily worry about toxic things and fumes and all that kind of stuff. Again, I mean, I have, well, technically I have 3 resin printers. There's 2 of them that are running constantly every day of the week. But there is something convenient about this, and again, also there is an expense. There's a bit of a savings here. Something as big as this in resin, even if it's hollow, that's still, if it prints out perfectly the very first time, still going to chew up a bunch of resin. So maybe, again, there's a few possible ways, again, of saving some money, maybe even saving a little bit of time, because you don't have to, there's no wash and cure that you got to do. It can be easily handled, and it is, it's not unbreakable. But in comparison to a hollowed out resin bust like this, it is practically indestructible. And there might, again, be some benefits. There might be some benefits to that. So that's why I was talking earlier about potentially for Adepticon, maybe printing out a couple of these. And this way I've got something that I could paint as a bit of a lesson for folks or something like that. And I basically just chuck them in a bag. I wouldn't even bother with any bubble wrap. I'd just chuck them in a bag, like whatever. I like the idea of a little bit of like running that in there. And then here on that lower lid, yeah, almost a little bit more of a spectral kind of a highlight. Yeah, I might well, I didn't mean to quadruple down on that. That was a little more than what I wanted, but okay, we'll roll with it anyhow. And I think it kind of does. I think it works. Whoa, can I sneak? I don't know if I can. Nope, I don't think I can sneak in anymore. Sometimes the enemy of good is always better. The enemy of completion is perfection. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. If it was, there would be kind of no point in, well, unless every other miniature you paint for the rest of your life is perfect, what's the point? Yeah, suddenly there wouldn't really be much point to paint miniatures anymore. then you'd have to take up something like Olympic lawn darts or something like that, and your future there might not be as long as you figure. Give me some of my dark along this here. Yep, same over here. This got real thick here, and I'm just going to try and take away some of that. There we go. Yep, okay. It's kind of what we did over here. Only here doing it with the indigo on this side. Now here, actually the lighter stuff didn't really creep over that as much as I thought it did. So okay. You know, I'm going to try and sneak a little more of this. Oh yeah, here. This thing. I don't know, that might be a little too dark. Let me back away from that just a bit here. Let me take some of the Prussian blue and some of this. Whoops, I can see a big old blob on the end of the brush. Did I think I neutralized that? So that got really, really thick over there. Now that's not just an oil paint thing, that's an acrylic thing too. When you're working with something like white, it just tends to be thicker, right? So sometimes you put that stuff on there, then you come back with your darker or mid-tone at least, and you do what I'm doing here, which is, see how this is thicker right here, this one line. We are going to take that and ever so slightly shave away some of that line. We're doing that here. We're going to shave away some of that line. It also, see how it creates a little bit of a light to dark transition? So we sharpen that edge, makes it look a little more like metal. We increase the reflectivity, also more like metal. So we did like 2-3 things there that were beneficial. Hey there, Arid. Thank you so much for joining us here. Everybody please give Arid Kim Wave a follow. And of course, Arid, if you wish to share your Pinterest link in the chat, please do that as well. So great to see you there, Arid. So Arid, this is one of those FDM printed busts right here. Didn't work out too shabby, right? And again, still not with the 0.2 nozzle. That is just the regular 0.4 nozzle.